Welcome back, my people. Rotterdam is in the bathroom having some fun. So, next topic is. Ben, don't you laugh at me! You know I'm the best host. Alright. The next topic is the Olie Moly monthly finals, which happened today, actually. And it's the first time we discussed the Olie Moly tournament, and I think it's a really cool tournament. I wasn't a believer of the format at first.
Is that what it's called?
Olie Moly. Yes. Yes, Olie Moly. I messed it up a little bit. October monthly finals. So I want to cover the Patreon and their tournament format. So today, Base Trade casted the round of 8. It's the monthly finals. The monthly finals is a prize pool of 450. Is it 450? I can't tell. I can't do math on stream, man. I'm scared. All right, so the monthly finals is a 450 prize pool, and we're gonna talk just a little bit about the results, so people can go and check out the VODs.
It's 500 total.
Oh.
Cause the third, fourth place, 50 times
Ah, yes. Thank you.
2. You're welcome.
Thank you there, saving me. So any unexpected results? You know, Fantasy beating Center, True beating Fantasy, Younghwa beating Harmony, Impact beating Marine King, Younghwa beating Impact, True beating Younghwa. No, nothing.
Nothing surprising for me.
Yeah.
I guess that Youngwa's still doing kinda mediocrely good. He's always been a player that's like, I don't know. He's like always like pretty good on the cusp of like doing really well, but then he never really does anything. But then you always see him kind of beating good players and then kind of doing well, and then he just falls out at like the round of 16 of a major tournament, and then you're like a year later, you're like, oh yeah, he's still here.
I'm going to talk about something that's
Yes.
kind of. So I'm just looking at I'm looking at the last 2 tournaments, like the hash 9 and hash 10. So like hash 10, Marine King beat Bong Bong, which I don't know how good Bong Bong is, but then he beat Ryung 2-1, which is more of a like accurate depiction of how good he is and what have you. Then at hash 9, he beat Keen, Myung Sik, Arthur, and then lost to Impact 1-3. Like, that's pretty impressive from Marine King. I thought he was like down and out and over.
Yes.
So the fact that he made it to like the monthly finals is really cool, actually.
Yeah, I think this tournament just gives opportunity to Korean players who don't travel overseas to show what they're made of in between Pro League. Because otherwise we know that Marine King would be this good if Pro League was going on. But it's not. And you see a few foreigners playing. There's a guy called Mist, a Swedish player, trying his luck in the Olie Moly League. Olie... Yeah.
Is he playing from Europe?
I guess so. I thought about playing it, but then I changed my mind. But I think I'm gonna play it now. It seems like a lot of fun. Seems like a lot of good Koreans. Rotterdam, what do you think of the Olie Moly League? The Olie Moly League, yes.
I know Nate is a big fan. I know he's been following it. I've been watching it here and there, but I'm not. I haven't been watching it super close because I have the Frenchies over and we've doing some outside activities and stuff. But yeah, I mean, what do you want me to say? I encourage it. More StarCraft is fun, especially like because now everything is kind of leading up to BlizzCon, so like the daily WCS stuff is gone. So anything else that's sort of like ongoing is cool, and the level of play, like if you just look at the names and stuff, is obviously really impressive. So it's cool.
Because the last time we had tournaments like that was ESV, like IC Cup TV, and then ESV League, and so it's really nice that they're coming back with something for the Koreans on the Korean server. And the time is not too bad if you're on the East Coast. It starts, I think, at 8 a.m. Eastern. That's 5 p.m. PST. So if you want to be brave, if you want to take down some Koreans, get some really solid practice, it's the best place to go because getting these guys on the ladder, on GM Korean ladder, you'd have to be like top 100, top 50. So, but what I want to talk about is the progress of their Patreon. For some of you guys that don't know what Patreon is, it's a website where you can gather money from your fans, that Snickers sponsorship. So basically, if you're a content producer on YouTube, you can say every time I post a video, you guys give me whatever money you want, and every time I release a video, then it takes money out of your, I think, credit card. So someone like the content creator StarCrafts has that. So every time he puts out a StarCrafts, he gets a certain amount. I haven't checked his Patreon in a while. But the cool thing about the Oie Moly is that they're now at $473 per tournament. And it's a weekly tournament, so that's like a pretty decent chunk of supporters from the community. And they, with this amount of money, their last milestone goals is they're able to pay the staff, they're able to pay the casters, they're able to put more money into the prize pool. So it's something that started very small. Obviously, the person who's doing it is the manager of Axiom. So she's got quite a lot of support behind her with Total Biscuit and everything. But I think the turnout is really cool. What are your thoughts, Demuslim, on this tournament?
That's the first I've heard of how it's ran, actually. And that
I
sounds
think it's really cool,
really
right?
cool. Yeah, that's really awesome. Like a lot of the things I've been very jealous of in like the Dota scene is how they, like, you know, the international, how it started off like $1 million or whatever, which is freaking great, but then the community itself made it like 10 times bigger than it was. It's like wow. So the fact that this is just a small community thing that's actually like gathering interest and like is actually producing really cool content and what have you. It's really cool. Like anything like this is really awesome, especially if people are benefiting from it. And some people, you know, if they don't mind donating some money towards tournaments to see some good games, then frick yeah, that's awesome. That's cool that the community's doing that. I had no idea that it was being ran like that.
And one of the cool thing too, I think, is that GSL Pro League, it's always during the weekdays. So you're like, hey, I want to watch Koreans, but man, I gotta work. Well, this is on Saturday, so if you're not like an alcoholic or you don't have a social life and you don't go out on Friday nights, you can wake up early, watch some Korean matches, put some money behind it, and help out the Korean scene. Rotterdam, what are your thoughts?
I mean, I just said it before. It's really cool. And like Ben said, you know, Dota 2 has so many tournaments that are community driven. It's not just the international, but even this tournament, I think that was going on last weekend, the Star Ladder. It's like mostly community funded and stuff. Yep. So that's really cool. Of course, they have a much larger player base to tap from than we currently have, but it's still cool. You know, and something like this, if it's ongoing, 400 or 500 a week, that's really awesome. That's guaranteed content and done in the right way. So I think we can only all be very happy about it.
HuK, any final thoughts?
Yeah, just more of what they said. I am also somebody that's very jealous of the Dota scene, and like Roddy said, the sponsored prize pool from the last big Dota tournament that happened this past weekend that EG won was the sponsors put in 80,000, and the total prize pool ended up being 273,000. So more than the vast majority was from just people donating. And the thing is, people in general don't mind donating, but the way that the Dota scene does it is that they incentivize it so you get something in return. It's kind of gambly, so it's more fun for degenerates like Rotterdam. And I would do it too. I bet on like CSGO games and stuff because I think it's really fun. Yeah. And then also it's just very easy and very accessible. And you know you're not getting ripped off or anything. It isn't like some shitty Sons of StarCraft documentary where you're like just putting money in and you're not knowing what's happening. You know, like it's getting cut, it's getting put this. Yeah.
That's like the most important thing with all these community-driven things, that people actually know where their money goes. Like HuK said, people are very enthusiastic in general because they're just like us. And like everybody loves, you know, the StarCraft stuff, community stuff. But if you give your money, then at least you want to know that it's being used for a good cause, and you don't just want to see your number being like soaked up by some big. Suddenly you hear nothing or you have no idea where it goes. So yeah, the Dota community has definitely done that right, and this is a really good initiative in the SC2 scene, and hopefully
the site is so cool too. Like I feel like if like I remember when beta first happened, there was like Craft Cup, and then there was that other cup, and there was just like a lot of weekly and then monthly tournaments that were like a good amount of money. And I feel like if they had a website like this,
like Patreon,
they might have, you know, lasted longer, or they would have actually been profitable, or at least be able to break even where people are making a decent amount of money casting stuff. So I'm sure people like like Roddy, if he had nothing to do and he was feeling good and he could play some games during the day and then cast a tournament, he wouldn't mind making a little extra money. Helps the community, players make money. It's like a win-win-win for everybody.
Yeah, and actually, because I mentioned it, but I didn't know his numbers. The Carbot animation, the StarCrafts, he gets 1,800 per cartoon that he puts out on YouTube.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
Didn't know that either.
Yeah, 416 Patreons, or patrons, I guess. Yes, patrons. Damn it. All right.
Patrons.
You're British.
Good job,
it's
man.
not fair. All right, next topic, guys. 32 boys, 1 cup. What? Come on, man. Don't be like that. All right, so 32 boys, 1 cup. The round of 16 happened, and there was a little bit of drama, solid games. Let's talk about it. HuK, how did your match go? Not to throw you under the bus or anything.
Fucking horrible.
Yeah?
Basically, first game he proxy stargated cheese. Second game he double proxy gated cheese.
Oh.
Ended I think the second game was actually like 2 minutes and 30 seconds or something. Like, he just got fucking wrecked.
Yeah, I mean, Crank is sort of your nemesis, right? When it comes to PvP?
Yeah, he does like a lot of metagame kind of stuff. Like, he'll play super greedy, or then he'll just do like something super cheesy. I don't know. Yeah. I feel like he's gonna get ruffle stomped eventually in this tournament. Probably next round, but...
Is that the little bitter boy talking in you, or...?
No, well, I mean... Maybe, but it's Solar versus Crank. Who would you bet on?
Yeah, okay. That's,
Where are we looking at this?
yes,
I'll
let me link you. I didn't link you.
Oh, I got it.
Alright, so to move on with... so the matches happened. It was a double stream. There was like 2 parts of it. It was yesterday, actually, in the morning and then at night. And Major didn't make it. That's the drama part that I was referring to. He was sleeping. But surprisingly, and Demuslim, I want you to talk to me about this, because everyone has been hyping Showtime in Europe, the German Protoss, and he was supposed to play Major, and I thought, like, wow, it's going to be an insane match. And then Intense, the winner of Breakout Invitational number 3, Season 3, beats Showtime 2-1. So sickest replacement ever. And
Wait. Showtime replaced Major?
No.
Intense replaced Major.
Yes.
So it was
did
still a
Jon Snow and
PvT.
Intense play for that spot after Major? So Major said he was asleep or something?
He didn't show up. Yeah.
So like Rifkin waited, and he was like, okay, we're gonna find a replacement. And then he figured, I guess, probably because they're both
Intense.
Terran, maybe
Yeah.
Showtime was preparing for Terran. And then I think Showtime actually beat Intense earlier in the tournament. They were in the same group, maybe, or something. I'm not sure.
He was in your group, actually.
Yeah, Jon Snow
Oh, yeah,
couldn't
that's
play.
right. That's right.
Jon Snow couldn't play. He was too busy to play. So they used Intense, even though he finished 4th in the group.
So the North American Hope, HuK, destroys Intense in the group, and then the European Hope, Showtime, plays him, gets destroyed. Comments, Ben, the European.
Like, this is the first time I've heard of this Intense guy, and I'm looking, and when I see he's born in 1997.
He's not bad. He's not
I'm
bad.
like,
He's been around for a while.
well,
No,
I mean,
but Ben wouldn't know him from Europe. Like, there's a lot of
Yeah.
European guys I don't know because they're like ladder guys and they've never had any good results. Intense is that guy for us in NA.
Okay, so he's obviously pretty good. Yeah, beating Showtime, like Showtime, he is definitely one of the more stable Protosses in Europe right now. And I think he's really good, so I'm really impressed by Intense. And was it like legit, were they legit wins, or?
They were
what happened?
macro games for sure. I think
Okay.
all 3 of them were.
Then that's yeah, it's very impressive to beat Showtime, because Showtime, like, in fact, I'm trying to think of some like European Protosses now that are really, really good. I think Harstem's like one of the strongest European Protosses. Wellmu's really freaking good. Lilbo, I think those 3 that I just mentioned are probably the top 3 European Protosses.
Yeah. Rib Grubby?
Maybe Mana as well is really good.
But I would, no offense to Grubby, but I would not rank Grubby even in like my top 5 of Protosses of Europe.
I think if I'm being like really unbiased, I'd say like Lilbo, Mana, Wellmu, and Harstem are like top 4.
Mm-hmm. And then Showtime's catching up.
Showtime's like in this German players, like they never really like break out.
Yeah,
and
they're
just go, like,
seasonal.
go ham. They're
Yeah.
like it was in Warcraft 3 or 2. They got good enough to do really well, but then kind of like stayed so they could stay the best in Germany. Like that's how I feel that German players do it.
Man, don't talk shit about region locking. We'll never hear the end of it, man.
Yeah, but yeah, impressive by Intense.
Yeah.
How do you think he's going to do against Parding?
Oh, well. Yeah, but that's the beautiful story about this match. Is like you never expect anything, and then if he makes it close, then he's like the hero that everyone like deserves.
I love how you say if he makes it close. We've come to the fact it's not even like if he wins. It's like if he makes.
Well, if
one
he
of the
looks
games
decent,
kinda
then people,
close,
yeah.
then you know.
Yeah.
Woo! I think it'd be really cool if he beat Parting. Maybe like you need the perfect storm. Parting is kind of slumping. Intense has been playing well. I mean, if he beat him, it would be a really big deal. I think if any foreigner beats any Korean here, it's a pretty big deal, I guess.
Yes.
At this point, we're just clinging for anything we can get now.
How are the groups chosen?
So it was
Rank-
just
they
EU
picked them
versus
out of
EU, NA
They
versus
picked-
NA.
Oh,
Oh,
the groups or the round of 16?
yeah.
The groups, like
Oh yeah,
like
NA
straight up,
versus
it's 3
yeah.
NA groups, it's 2 European groups, then
Yeah.
there's
some through qualifiers, some through invites.
Yes.
And then they do like NA groups. He was originally planning to do more European groups, but then the qualifiers didn't get a sign up for it, so he gave the third group to NA.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's not a lot of foreigners left in the round of 8. There's Intense, Nerd Show who beat Mana, Kane who beat Cats, and then we saw brave people like HuK lose to a Korean, Petrius lose to Gumiho, and TLO lose to Kangho, which is Losira. So we have a nice round of 8. We have 3 foreigners to cheer for, 2 of them possibly dead meat, and I mean, do you guys think Kane can beat Gumiho?
No.
I think Kane's very good, but
Yes.
it would be Gumiho is also extremely good.
Yeah, Gumiho's
I
insane.
think if they play those games on the NA server, I'm willing to.
But Kane is in Europe, is he not?
Kane hates playing on NA.
From EU?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's a big
But-
rip.
I think he has better. I don't know actually. I don't
Like,
know.
okay, say if this was legit, like they're on LAN and they're playing with the same ping. I actually think Kane is one of the best Zergs
yeah.
currently in Europe right now. Like, I put him at, like, Snoot level. And that's, so, like, yeah, Snoot and Vortex, I wouldn't put Kane on a different, like,
Kane is a
it's
little
really hard to separate
inconsistent
them.
though. Like I totally agree with you. Kane on a good day, I feel like that, man. I totally agree with you. But there are also some days where Kane just like goes 0-2-0-2 against people that you kind of think that he should have beat. That's something that Vortex and Snoot don't really do. Like in general, they almost
think he
always
just-
perform.
He chokes
Yeah.
under. I think when you play someone a bigger named, or even like you were saying, Ben. Although same ping would be good, I think at a land he would play much worse just because
Yeah.
he isn't used to the pressure yet.
Like, you know when Kane played Cass in that show match? Like, Cass
Yeah.
is actually in, like, really good shape right now. Like, he's been playing in Zotacs, and, you know, he gets matched against Happy in the final of Zotac, and Happy's a ladder monster. Like, he never seemingly plays bad, and he just, like, stomps Happy 3-0. So, Cass has actually been in, like, fantastic shape, and Kane stomps him. Like, but against a guy like Gumiho's freaking crazy, man. Like, he's really crazy. And when you're playing against a crazy Terran, and it's doing something that you've never seen before, which he probably will in a lot of these matches, and crazy mech too. Kane's the kind of guy that practices so much that he's so good against the norm, but Gumiho's not going to give him the norm, and I think that's why Gumiho's got like a massive advantage in that matchup. But also, cross server, like I remember Kane lost to somebody in a matchup. It was a game. Oh, Reality. He lost to Reality like 3-0. And I messaged Kane after. I was like, "Yo, I'm sorry you lost." And he's like, I'm not. Like, it's cross server. Like, if I played on Europe, then I'd be, or on the same server, then I'd be sad. But like, you know, laggy.
I want to call, and actually, I'm really happy that Rifkin messaged me, because earlier, HuK talked shit about Crank, saying, well, talk shit is maybe too strong, but they said that Crank would get trekked by Solar in the round of 8. But
He beat him in the groups.
yes, there you go, Ben. Ben's catching up quickly. So what do you?
Catching up, son.
Yeah, what do you have to say about that, Chris?
Do you want to bet? I'll bet you right now. If you're really that confident, let's bet. I'm
Man,
down.
I'm like the last fan of Crank. Like if we like round up every StarCraft fan, I'd be the last guy. But Okay, $10. Crank beats Solar.
Oh.
Can I get in on this bet?
Hey, I'm not made of money, man.
I'll like name an amount and I'm down.
I said $10.
Well, okay.
That's not enough?
You want to bet your lunch money or you want to make a real bet?
Alright, alright.
Rotterdam's laugh.
Well, you
Okay,
should
$10
know
is
$10 doesn't cover my lunch,
We'll
but
just do we'll do lunch or something at this time.
That was funny, desRow.
yeah, I know.
That was
Thank
good,
you.
dude.
That was
Alright.
How about we just do a meal?
All right.
Make it
Oh.
easier.
Yeah, I like this.
All right.
It's gonna be
You're
very advantageous. All right. So that wraps up the round of 8. I mean, Nurcho Kangho. Any chance for Nurcho?
Wait. I want to.
Yeah.
He made another good joke. He said this is very advantageous, as in like, if he pays for it, he's gonna pay for a lot less because he's paying for me.
Yes.
If I pay.
What?
For
You
it,
have
I'm
to
gonna
explain
pay
it.
for
People
a lot-
caught it up in chat. Are you
He
slow?
didn't get it. No one laughed, so I was like, that was pretty funny, but I was muted. So.
All right.
Explain
Thank
it.
you.
Stream. It's
Big
for the
Dez,
stream
man,
too.
big Dez.
It's for the stream.
All right.
Oh.
The thing is, I wish I could see Dez's face on Skype right
Yeah.
now, so then I could like.
You
know,
get a
that's what I
cue.
mean, like,
Yeah.
I go to
I'll-
the stream. He gets all rustled when he gets excited. He moves around and stuff. He'll be like very animated. So I like to watch it.
All right, Nurcho Kangho. Any chance for Nurcho?
Yeah, and just talking about like food bets. I remember the last time I actually bet a meal or a food bet. I like did that with Kevin, and I made him buy me like lots of chicken. It was at like an ESWC, and like when I was 17 or something.
No,
But,
we made another bet after that. Where I
On
bet you
food?
that you wouldn't be able to eat 11 cheeseburgers, and you did.
Oh shit!
It was at 5 a.m. in Cologne, Germany, and the Muslim said he could eat 11 cheeseburgers,
And
I
he
said
did.
no way, and he did.
Oh.
And
I
he was
remember-
starting to look so miserable by cheeseburger number 8 or 9. He just looked like
I
a
was-
man in pain, but he kept going.
Yeah, dude, yeah, because like the deal was like I either had to like pay him $20 or 20 euros, or he pays for all my cheeseburgers. It was something like that, and I was like, yeah, I'm not losing this. But yeah, I died that day. But okay, so Nurture against Kangho.
Yes. Best of
I
3.
watched Kangho against TLO actually, and TLO had a really good shot of beating him. He tried to be a little bit too creative and lost. That's kind of like TLO fashion. But Nurture beating Mana 2-0, like Nurture of old times. Like I'm talking old times.
Wings
like,
of Liberty, he always beat Mana, like always.
Yeah, Mana like hated playing him.
Yeah,
but,
yeah. Mana's
Nurture-
like, Mana's never hated anyone in his life, but I think he genuinely hated Nurture during Wings of Liberty because he was like,
And the thing is, like Nurture back then, he was one of the guys to beat. Like if there was
Yeah.
anybody that always beat Stefano, it was Nurture. But like they never managed to play each other in like the finals of a tournament because Nurture seemingly would just play stupid against somebody and get knocked out in like the top 8 or whatever. Like I remember that happened at WCS. He lost against Grubby, like really unexpectedly. But anyhow, like I think Nurture has a shot against Kangho. I don't think Kangho is one of the like super scary Koreans here. Like the super scary Koreans are Parding, Solar, and Gumiho. Like Crank, I don't think Crank's that scary. He's just like kind of cheesy. Kangho's pretty solid, so it's tough.
What about you, Chris? You believe in Nurcho?
I think he has a very good shot. I think he has the best. I don't know. I want to say he has the best shot just because it's ZVZ, and Kangho is one of the weaker ones. I don't think he's the best. I would say Kane is probably the best out of the 3 foreigners that are left, but I think Nurcho probably has the best shot just because of his opponent and the matchup.
Okay. Rotterdam, any thoughts?
no, I agree. I believe in Nurture. I think he's a small underdog, but not a big one. I think Nurture can do that.
And that rounds up the round of 8, guys. I think it's a really good tournament. $2,000 to the winner. And I actually talked about this to Base Trade, and I think the way they did it with like a lot of groups, was what, 8 groups? Do I know how to count? Yes, 8 groups. So it just puts them like they always have matches to cast, and they've been having fantastic viewer numbers. So it's really good for them, and obviously if they can't score a big sponsorship in 2015, well, I'll be sad for them because they've been doing a lot of hard work, and it would be really sad to see Base Trade not continue in the community. I think there'd be like a massive hole that couldn't be filled if they left. All right, so
They're talking about leaving.
No, I'm just saying like
Yeah,
in
where
general.
did that come from?
No, I'm just saying in general, man. I'm just like,
I got
you know.
very dark, very
No,
fast.
yeah, I know.
Talking about
I'm
the
not on
funeral
Molly. I
that's not gonna
swear. I'm
happen
just
anymore.
saying
Like,
like.
if they don't get that big sponsor,
It's like
2015.
Because-
yo,
No, but
yo,
they-
if Rotterdam died, like I'd be really sad. Like, it's not likely. So
even
let's,
if they didn't get a big sponsor, I assume they have like a really good amount of subs.
Yes,
Yeah,
but it's
well,
always coming out of
and
their
good
pocket, man.
viewers
And
and
you have to
donations.
make money. Like they always use their own money to.
Yeah,
to
that's-
yeah.
That's true, I guess.
Yeah. So I'm really hoping a lot of good stuff happen for them because they deserve it. Sorry for that emotional moment. All right. Moving on from that topic, we have a few topics before we get to your questions. Use the hashtag SC2Remax on Twitter. You can always get on Reddit and ask there. But if you don't have a lot of upvotes, I might not get to it. And don't pull a Chan Man on us. All right. Shout out to Livy B for getting GM. We discussed whether we should talk about it, but Livy B is a pretty awesome streamer, pretty awesome person. And
The only I want to actually, I know we weren't going to comment on it, but I've read the thread since then. And
Yeah.
a lot of people actually commented like she must have had Vibe playing on her account. And all this other shit.
wow, really?
She streams
That.
like so
12
much.
hours almost.
She's literally the most dedicated pro gamer probably out there besides maybe some sick Koreans. Like she plays more than I do, plays more than Ben does, more than desRow does. She plays like no, she plays more than you, man.
Man,
Like,
I've streamed 200 hours this month.
Yeah, what about last month? And rep. So, moving forward, she plays an insane amount. She's been playing an insane amount for like, I don't know, months, as long as I've known her, so I think that's kind of bullshit. But it's nice to see she made it, and she cares a lot. And when you invest that much time into something, it's cool to see you get results back. Hard work pays off, kids. Stay in school, don't do drugs, etc.
Yeah, I butchered her name, by the way. It's Livy, not Live B. But yeah, she's really she's a really nice gal. And who was the last GM girl besides Scarlett? Was Flo
Ruka.
ever GM?
No,
Flo was never GM?
No.
She's
But,
diamond now, that's all I know.
Oh,
Oh.
she's gonna hate you for calling her out like that. But no, the
Oh, so she
the
really
girl,
is Diamond?
the girl, Miss Spike.
Yes, that's very true.
She was GM?
Yeah, she made GM and then she quit.
Yeah.
She lost her passion. Went to Dota 2.
Is she trash in Dota 2?
I don't know. She well, I can't say her boyfriend, but he's like Dota pro, so she has to be decent.
But he's like a
That's not true.
kind of caster.
How is that true? How many pro gamers do you know? And
I
then
mean,
think
like,
of all their
no,
girlfriends,
but-
and then think of how bad all their
Yeah, but
girlfriends are at StarCraft
it's a
2.
team game. Like you'd expect her to like be decent, otherwise it'd be a chore to play with her. So she'd be like, oh, I want to prove myself.
Once again, think of all the StarCraft 2 players you've had and all the girlfriends they've played
Yeah,
with.
but
and how
StarCraft 2 is
bad
a
they have been.
1v1. You don't like,
No,
okay,
they
I'm gonna
play
help you
team
get better in
games, too.
2v2s.
No, they play team games together and stuff.
Yeah,
There's
but
been a lot
2v2s and 3v3 is not the same, man.
No. She could still be trash.
Alright.
Find out, people.
Yes, we're dispatching our people to find out. And then there was Verlin, but that was a fraud. Who else was GM and a girl? Anyone?
Atlas, was she? Or no?
No, she was a very high master, I
Close,
think.
though,
Once
yeah,
upon a
close.
time, yeah.
I think if Medalist were old skill, if she would have been playing on an A service, he would have been GM.
Yeah, I actually think Madless would have been GM.
Queenie?
too.
Queenie's better than Atlas, isn't she?
Yes.
Yeah, but she's
Currently,
not
yeah.
GM right now.
No.
Queenie,
She's
like, actually, to talk about that, like, there was a tournament where they both met.
Yeah.
I think it was a female tournament, and Madlisk at the time was like Diamond, and she wrecked Madlisk, and Madlisk like,
No. Madeline's called Queenie a Diamond Protoss, and it was because
Oh.
Queenie has 2 accounts. She has the account she doesn't play on, that like Flow, and it's in Diamond, and then she has a
Okay.
Smurf that she doesn't want to be like, I guess.
Oh, okay. Well,
Watched
like,
her.
Madlisk lost.
She
and
was
then
very
said,
upset.
like,
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
We
The
covered
Celtics-
it. Trust me, we covered it.
Yeah, you
Okay,
just don't
okay,
watch the
like-
show enough, man. Come on, you go to
Oh,
bed
I'm
too
sorry.
early.
But I found that so incredibly funny. Like,
Yes.
because Madlisk is a super rager, like super rage. I've never played against anybody that raged as much as her, but like, yeah, I'm glad
Indra,
that people.
Really? You were on the same team as Greg.
Oh yeah, but like, it's freaking close competition, man. Like,
Really?
yeah, like Greg would
She's
often just
scary
leave.
too.
Greg would often just leave, whereas Madlisk would like really like kind of put out a little flame and stuff, and it's like, oh, whoa, Madalisk, and it's like she just blocks
Who would you rather fight or get into a confrontation with, Greg or Madalisk? Who are you more scared of in person? I think I would
Greg,
rather
man.
fight
Like,
Greg. I would
no,
rather
dude,
fight Greg than Madalisk.
when you stole Greg's pork chop, like, no.
I did not steal his pork chop.
Dude, like, Greg, you and Greg, like, that day, that was so freaking funny, but I thought Greg was gonna, like, kill you from that pork chop.
I've told everybody that story. I've told everybody that story.
It's the best story, dude.
Yep.
Well,
Alright.
Fill me in later.
There was also Aphrodite. Chris, I sent you a message. There was also Aphrodite, but there was a lot of rumors of Rambo playing for her, so we'll never know the truth. And there was Thelia from New Zealand, who was a random player as well. So, Chris, you didn't get back to my message.
I'm fucking reading it, man. Give me like, what do you think this is?
Hey Ben, do you miss living with Idra and making him mad?
I really didn't try and make him mad. Like, most of the time, I just thought he was, like, in on, like, having fun.
Oh. That's so funny.
Like, you know, I'd be sat next to him, and his stream, like, we'd both be streaming. Like, this was very early days, before, like, he got really mad at me. But, like, we'd both be streaming, and I'd be commentating, whereas his, like, microphone be off. And I'd say something like, oh, I'm against Greg, I'm gonna win pretty easily this game. And he'd turn around and call me, like, he'd like really flame me pretty hard. He'd be like, fucking blah 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 blah, like the stuff that I can't say. Like I'm contracted not to say that. And then I'd be like killing him, and he'd be like typing stuff at me, like flaming me. And I just found it all like really funny. I thought he was fine. Then after the game, I'd try and talk with him like when it's off stream, and he'd just be like fuck off, and I'd be like oh whoa, like I didn't realize this was serious. So like no, I don't miss it. It made the house pretty hard to live in sometimes.
Yep. I honestly, I missed the Phoenix house. It was so nice when, sometimes when I stayed there, it's just a lot of the people that were in the house, and I won't name names, but in a lot of different situations, just anytime you have a lot of people that live together, and then if they're pro gamers or esports people, they all have different problems, and it was just really, really uncomfortable at times. But I liked the house. I liked In-N-Out was in walking distance. They had that like movie theater area with all the restaurants. I thought it was very cool. I miss Arizona.
It was yeah, everybody talks about like Arizona.
When we did like the barbecues and stuff, that was really cool.
Yes, it was really cool, and like it actually got better. Like for me at least, when like the Dota people moved in and like everybody else moved out, because there was like so much less friction between people in the house.
Barbecue. It was fucking awesome.
Like really like. When you have a group of people that do play against each other all the time, and I don't really know how these Korean guys do it, to be honest, when you're in a house playing against each other all the time, because like friction between players really does build up really hard, and I think we'd have definitely benefited from somebody just like telling us, yo, like swallow your pride, it doesn't matter if you lose, just like you lose, you like learn from it, you know, but we never had that.
Alright, moving on from old times and girls and GM. The next topic is Todd, scumbag Todd. Everything you want to name him fits pretty much. Is gonna do show matches tonight. If you guys remember, the boys were back in town when Nathanius got really drunk on stream, and they were doing a lot of show matches. It was a very successful stream. It was when Todd did the Red Bull Detroit satellite, when he paid for a player to go to Red Bull from donations and some of his own money, and he had some money left over, and he said he was going to do show matches. And Todd is not part of the Broken Promises club, and he's back with some show matches tonight. And Rotterdam, can you tell us more about how this came about?
Yeah, already last time when Todd was here, he's like, hey, we should do more show matches, and now ever since he arrived here, he's like, hey, you want to do some show matches? But I've been feeling like absolute hell, but Johan seems to think that like that doesn't matter to people and they can still do whatever they want. He's like, hey, come on, just like, kiss some games with me. It's like, Johan, I have tears in my eyes all day, and like I feel like shit, I don't feel like casting. He's like, you want to do show matches? And anyway, today he said like, alright, we're gonna do some show matches on Tuesday. And I was like, okay. So he called a couple of guys. I think QXC is going to play, Major is going to play, I think Parting is going to play as well. So we have a couple of good games. Fonka's in the other room as well, so both Fonka and Todd will be on stream, and I'll be hopping in as well, but like I won't be doing too much commentating because I really feel like ass. But other than that, it
So
should
are you
just
saying,
be fun.
Yeah, are you saying you're included in that thread just for your name's sake? Because he wants more attention?
No. I mean, I always want to help, and I always want to do stuff because it's fun, you know. Like, why do nothing if you can do some StarCraft stuff? It's fun, but you know, I'm not really in a good state to cast right now. Like, my brain is not functioning properly and stuff. Anyways, it will still be fun, and we'll probably go on for a little while. You know, like if it does well, then we'll do more. But at least there will be like 3 or 4, and maybe after that we'll do 1 or 2 more. So you guys should all check out twitch.tv/ToddSC. And it's gonna be fun. We're gonna try to make it fun. It won't be as like, people shouldn't expect the same stream as last time, because that was like unique, and that just came on the moment. We didn't plan on doing that. That just happened. That was a really fun stream, but this should still be fun too. Like, if there's nothing else to watch, then why not watch Litot, Funka, and maybe a bit of me do some StarCraft show matches.
It was an awesome stream last time.
Yes.
Between you guys, by the way, I just want to say, like, that was awesome. Like, I remember waking up in the morning and I got on at the end of it, and then you just did some extra show matches and stuff.
Oh yeah, you got paid beating Hearthstone.
You got paid a lot, actually.
Yeah,
like,
that was your comeback, Ben.
You got
That
like
was
$200 or something, right?
It was like 260 euros. I was like,
Jesus.
whoa.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a good way to wake
For
up.
beating Hearthstone, like, holy shit, this was awesome. But like, I actually underrated Hearthstone massively at that point, because that's when I like just started practicing in EU, and I didn't realize how good he was. But I'm really glad I didn't have to play Major, because Major was like tweeting, "Hey, vote for me and Demuslim if you want to see me smash Demuslim," and I was like, "Oh man, this is going to go wrong." But luckily, I came 3rd in the vote, so yeah, thank God for that.
I had super much fun as well, and I do want to do something similar like that again. And if we can do it, because there is like we have another idea, and obviously this also depends on me feeling better. But hopefully within a few days I'll feel like the old me again, and then we might have like a little pre-BlizzCon party, like after the round of 16, but before the round of 8. We might do something in the apartment over here, and then we can also do some show matches again and stuff.
Nice.
While there would be some other people coming over to the apartment, so that would be really fun. Like we're trying to make the fun stuff happen.
Yeah, it's a nice opportunity. You guys are all living in the same place, even though you want to kill Todd eventually. Not tell anyone. So that's gonna be happening right after the show ends. I'll be putting the link of his stream in chat, and Rotterdam will give a final shout out about it. But I won't be hosting him because I have to stream IEM qualifier. Just a little note here. So we're at the part of the show where we answer your questions. Use the hashtag SC2Remax, and I see a lot of people that come on the show, like Rotterdam, and then they're like, I had a nice time, hashtag Remax, and then I have to go fucking read real estate tweets. Hashtag SC2Remax, guys, for your questions. I love you, Rotterdam. And we'll get to it just now. I have to go, and I have to go fetch the questions. Give me a second.
What a hater.
What a hater? No, come on, man. Like, I love you, man, but, you know, there's the good sides and the bad sides, but I love you, as long as you remember that. My question is about the meta of StarCraft, or more accurately, how it changes. In Brood War, the meta changed because of the map pool changes and new strategies. However, in StarCraft 2, we see the meta mostly shift around new balance patches. Regardless of whether this is good or bad, do you think that large meta shifts based on new ideas, Corsair DT and Brood War PvC, are possible in a game that is so frequently changed? Chris, since you played the most Brood War out of all of us.
It's really hard to say, but I feel like StarCraft 2 in general, without like really crazy map changes, the game gets figured out a lot quicker in StarCraft 2 than it did in Brood War. Brood War was more of, there was a, like, if you took, for example, Boxer, who was like probably the most recognizable name from Brood War, insanely good player, someone I've like respected for a really long time, but then you take someone like who's like a good Brood War player but not that good at the end, maybe someone like Effort, right? Effort, pretty good Brood War player, a lot of hardcore fans probably heard of him, but nothing compared to like Flash or Bisu or Jadong or whoever in Brood War. But Effort would fucking destroy Boxer in his prime compared to Boxer's prime. Like, there was this huge skill ceiling that was raised throughout the history of Brood War, where the players constantly got better and better. And we still see it in StarCraft 2 today. If you took the pros from today, if you took Ben and you put him against Fruit Dealer, and Fruit Dealer was in his prime and Ben was in his prime, Ben would wreck Fruit Dealer. And I'm not kidding. The difference between the early days of StarCraft 2 and now are there's a pretty big difference, but the difference between early Brood War and the end of Brood War was even bigger. So whether there'll be huge meta changes, I don't think so. It happened mostly in Brood War just because the players got significantly better as time went on and the maps drastically changed, and that changed the meta. But in StarCraft 2, you can see that like the end of Wings of Liberty, everybody was playing the same styles in most matchups, and they were very consistently good or bad. And if you did anything crazy, maybe it would work like one game, but it wouldn't be like a strategy that you could use over and over. And I feel like that's the way it's been for a while in StarCraft 2, where styles are just figured out, and the meta is figured out pretty quickly of what the most efficient, safe style is to play.
I agree. I also think the fact that Brood War went on for so long, though, is also like a reason why the disparity is so much different, because the start of Brood War was like 10 years, you know, whereas like StarCraft 2 has only been going for like 4 years. But yeah, you are right. You are totally right.
I came late. Sorry, my dog was being annoying. So moving on to the next question. Opinion on every big name caster except in Control getting a BlizzCon gig. Rotterdam, if you don't want to cover it, that's fine. But you know, I mean, the only person you could say that in Control would be a better fit over, I think, would be Moonglade. But then you do want someone who has a lot of Zerg knowledge. And Moonglade is professional and a very good, talented caster and a panelist. Any thoughts on this topic, Demuslim, since you've had your fair share of casting and being on a panel?
Was anything said by Jeff or Blizzard as to why
Jeff
tweeted
on Twitter twice.
Yeah, it got announced and Jeff just wrote ha 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 ha. It's something Jeff knew about obviously before this. And like, then he waited for the timing, and then the tweeting of ha 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 is like basically ensuring he gets the #1 Reddit post of why he's not there.
Okay, so like, so that sounds like they just didn't contact Jeff to have him.
No. Jeff knew.
Jeff
knew that he wasn't going to be at that time.
Right. He knew he wasn't going to be there, but
he didn't know who was going to be there instead of him. So when he sees the list, ha 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 ha, and then it's obviously going to be the #1 post in the thread on Reddit.
I mean, it's a...
Okay, first, if you want, Ben, I can answer.
You go.
Okay. Well, first of all, I want to say that like I even spoke with some of the people with Blizzard about this, that I actually really wanted Jeff there because I think Jeff was phenomenal last year at BlizzCon. Mm-hmm. I also think he's still extremely dedicated to our scene, and I also think that he genuinely cares about our game. I do not like his response because that doesn't feel like... I know Jeff is a very real guy, and I feel like if that's really what he... Like, what HuK says, like, Jeff knows how that goes. And I just kind of feel that, like, I think it would have been cooler if Jeff would have just made a reply and be like, hey, I'm extremely bummed out about this, and I don't really get why or something. But, like, he knew it in advance. So, like, that was not a spontaneous reaction. That was something that was, like, planned out. So I was not a big fan of that. But other than that, I will definitely miss Jeff there because I think Jeff was great last year, and I think Jeff has done a lot for our game, not just this year but all the previous years as well. But the reasoning behind this, you don't have to be a rocket scientist, I guess, to figure it out. Like desRow said, if you replace him with Moonglade, well, then you have both Todd and In Control at the analysis desk, and you have a lot of Protoss knowledge there. So then again, you would have to say like, all right, well, let's choose between In Control or Todd, and whoever you prefer. That doesn't really matter. Like, I guess in the end, Todd has been doing a lot of WCS throughout the entire year, while Jeff has been more doing the BlizzCon stuff. So I can understand sort of that Blizzard would lean then towards the caster they have been using in WCS because, it is a WCS final. And, if Todd wouldn't be there, then that would also be upsetting for a lot of Todd fans and be like, well, Todd went to all the Red Bull events, he did all the WCS, now he's not there. So, yeah, it is like, do you either want to have like multiple Protosses or do you want to have Moonglade? I will really miss Jeff there, so I'm not gonna say like what I would have preferred or what I think is better, but I do like understand the reasoning behind it a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. So after thinking about it for a little bit, Jeff's reaction, writing "ha ha ha," is that because he feels who was picked over him is like a bad decision, or does he feel that just the fact that he's not there is a bad decision? It's kind of like a joke, or that's one thing that I'm thinking about now. Also, like, do you pick Jeff because he's an expert on the game, or do you pick him because of what he brings to the whole show and panel experience in general? Like, I think it's the latter.
Yeah, I would agree with that too, and that's what I brought up as well with like, behind the scenes discussion, that I think that Jeff is great in not just answering questions, but Jeff is great in starting a conversation and making other people talk. Like Jeff is really like, yeah, he has slightly offensive humor, but he can also tone it down a notch. Like Jeff is a professional and he knows when he has to step it down a little bit and has to be more casual. But like Jeff is really good in making other people open up. And then of course you could say like, well, that is the job of the panel host, which is Tasteless. But then I just kind of feel like Tasteless is a WCS, because I mean I love Tasteless. He's a fucking legend and he's like the funniest together with Jeff. They're both extremely funny. But Tasteless has been casting WCS all year long, and then I feel that he's been brought out there to cast, right? So then like if you truly want to have like a panel host in that role, why not just get Tasteless as the commentator, which he has been throughout the entire year, and let Jeff be the panel host?
Mm-hmm. No?
This is shaking his head.
I don't want Tasteless casting. No offense to Tasteless's casting. I don't enjoy it. I don't think it's in depth. I don't think it's good. I think Nick is a great panel host. I think I can't remember what event he did. It was like one of the DreamHacks, but he was a really good host. He was a really good panel host. I would much prefer him at that spot. That being said, if I had to make my dream list, Jeff would definitely be on it. I won't say who I would remove, since that would be kind of BM. But he would be on my list as far as who would be there, and I would be willing to remove maybe 1 to 3 people from the current list to put Jeff on there if I had to. But there's a lot of moving parts, like everybody said here, and once, like, you got to think what's the best position. I personally love Nick being on the panel host, and Red Eye's a great host, and I think they're better hosts at those jobs than Jeff would have been. But Jeff is also a very, very strong host. But you can't have 3 hosts, and then you got to have one of each race. Well, you can't have. What are you gonna have 3 hosts, desRow?
You add is Smix being a host?
As far as I understand, she's interviewer translator is going to be
because
her primary.
Last year
she's listed as a host, but she won't be hosting.
Okay.
She'll be doing interviews and translations.
Because last year we had DJ Wheat hosting the analytical desk, and you had Chobra, who was host and translator, and then you had Red Eye, who was a stage host.
Yeah.
And yeah, basically they had DJ Wheat, so why not give the job to In Control?
They're basically cutting that position. They're just gonna have a panel host, a main host.
Like Tasteless is basically the DJ Wheat of last year.
Yes.
But I mean, you're combining 2 then, because they had 3. They had DJ Wheat, then they had Red Eye, and then they had Chobra. Or I guess Chobra is Sue, but she's not doing the hosting part that Chobra did, as far as I understood it.
Okay. So they replaced In Control by Minglade, is what happened.
Basically.
Because anyone else, if we look at both panels, like, everyone else is there from last year. Except, I guess Nathanius wasn't there last year.
Yeah, but Beta was there. So
Was it? Oh, okay.
Nathanius replaces Beta, which makes sense, of course.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't know, Kev. Let's look at the stats here. Bitter, he could make it out. We could make an arrangement.
Yes.
I personally, I would have Jeff there, and I would remove someone from the experts or the casting. But like you said, there's a lot of things, and it's hard to snub someone who's been working in Europe or America or Korea in casting GSL or WCS all year. And then you have people like Day9, who hasn't done that much stuff, StarCraft 2, besides Red Bull, but he's such a big name. He's such a inherent part of the StarCraft 2 community. If he wasn't at BlizzCon, people would be equally or more outraged that he wasn't there. And you would lose a large part of your audience or fan base or whatever.
I don't think it's that at that point where the stream will have less viewers because In Control isn't there.
No,
but
yes. Sorry.
But the quality that people are after, like, you know, like I get that Blizzard have to like think about this in a lot of ways. Like, we have to be fair to all the guys that have been working all year round for us that we employ all throughout the year. And then they have to be like, okay, who are we going to bring to the main show? Like, who's going to provide the best content? And are we going to be unfair to these guys that do work all year round for us? But, like, I am really, really gutted, actually, now thinking about it, that Jeff's not going to be casting here at all. He's not going to be on the panel. He's not going to be like, there's not going to be that jokey Jeff. And I mean, other people sure can provide like jokes and stuff, but
Well, that might be another part of it too, because that's more.
maybe they don't
like,
want that.
Yeah, like they it's the final big show. They want it to be very serious. They want it to be very professional, and Jeff is he's just not that guy. Maybe he can play that guy, but he is known as, you know, funny Jeff, who can make a lot of jokes. He can lighten the mood. He can walk the line of where it's like, oh, maybe no, okay, he's fine. He hasn't gone off the. Let's not make any threats.
Like,
but
I understand that, and like I definitely know that this is like the direction that Blizzard wants to go to as well. You know, like all fun and games aside, this is the big final. We want to put on one hell of a show, but we also want it to be a very serious show. But Jeff is a very smart guy. Jeff is a professional. Like, Jeff can step it down a notch, even to, like, I like the unfiltered Jeff. Like, that's my favorite Jeff, you know? Like, Jeff that can just be whoever, how he wants to be at a Remax. I think that's hilarious. But if you tell Jeff, like, hey, let's keep it a little more casual, you know, we have a lot of people watching that are not dedicated, hardcore SC2 Inside fans, I still think that, like, he can easily step it down and he can still make it fun for the non-diehards as well. Because, you know, at the end of the day, like, the views that us four represent is not very realistic of the average viewer that is going to watch BlizzCon. Like, we're going to have probably 95% of the people that watch so much less StarCraft than us. There will be like half the people that tune into stream will probably don't even know all four of us. Like, some people will know the Muslims, some people will know you, some people know me, some people know desRow. But, you know, like, for any hardcore SC2 fan, that's almost a given. Like, oh yeah, of course I know those guys, but at the finals it's going to be different. But I still think that Jeff can adjust to that.
It's like I don't watch that much League, but for the World Championship, I'm gonna watch it. Same thing for the International, and I'll recognize someone. Like, a lot of people are not, like, for Day 9, they're gonna know Day 9, and there's people that I know that haven't watched StarCraft 2, but they recognize me because I've been in the scene for a long time. And Jeff, there's a lot of reasons Jeff didn't make it, but they're all very small reasons, and I'm sure it was very close, and they just made what they thought was the best decision. And in my lineup, I would put Jeff there, but at the same time, it's very understandable when you're thinking about the grand scheme of things, all the reasons, all the things they got to consider. It's just the way it happened.
And for maybe new fans that that haven't watched StarCraft all year, if you don't know, Control's on EG. He used to be a player. Now he's more of a caster. Still plays. But one thing I wanted to bring up is that most of the highlights on sc2hl.com, which just, you know, highlights the funny moments of the tournament, I would say about half the highlights have Jeff and them making funny jokes and casting funny games. And yeah, it's really a shame that he didn't make it. But Blizzard had to make some tough choices, and they did it.
Good news, though, for all the StarCraft fans that are going to be in Anaheim is that Jeff will be there regardless. Obviously, he's not doing what he would have loved to do, but he will still be hosting a side panel for Intel, which has some show matches. I think Soppy is participating. Yeah, I think Soppy is participating in that. Scarlet will be there as well. So if you want to meet Jeff, he's still going to be there. I think that's awesome. I mean, obviously, I would have loved to have him on the desk as well, but difference. Can't have it Roddy's way, always.
We got an insane amount of questions, and the show's about to wrap, so gonna try to find a few good ones. And if your question didn't get asked, come back next week, and I'm really sorry. All right, we're gonna take it from Gemini, he's the hero lover, always on Reddit. How does everyone feel about PvT at the moment? Was destroying High Templar openers nearly completely the right direction? Right now it seems like PvT is becoming much too stale with only a select few options to go. Do you think there's still room to experiment, or is PvT going to stay reliant on Colossus opening until any further changes? And we'll start with Demuslim, since you know, you're the one having an easy life right now.
I know that Chris and I had some Twitter banter.
Oh, yes.
A little while ago, and like, we've both been very vocal throughout like our careers about stuff when we think it's kind of wrong, you know. and I know that you guys, you two, like Chris and desRow, I know you guys were having like trouble in PvT, and it was like very obvious that like you didn't like the Widow Mines and found it very hard. And you know, it sucks when the game's like that. I never found the game. In fact, I'm gonna start again. Sorry, there was a dude at the window that just took his butt out. But anyhow, yeah, these things happen in Sweden, man.
Yeah.
But anyhow, like, I actually found I still find TVP hard. Like, I do find TVP hard. And like, you see tournaments and you see some Terrans, like, they whitewash, like they just own the Protosses, right? And then you see other tournaments where Protosses own the Terrans. And I feel that, honestly, a lot of it is like, I feel it's just like flipping a coin, like as to what you do and whether it's right or wrong. Because I mean, there's so many, like if you did cherry picking, you could pick like 10 Terrans where they absolutely whitewashed the competition and owned it. And you could also do the same, like the opposite way. I do find TVP like a fun matchup still. But that being said, like it's way more fun now than when it was like Blink Stalker days where you knew if you played a guy going Blink Stalkers on Yonsu or whatever, that you were probably going to lose. Like that sucked. And I think the game's more balanced in that matchup specifically than it has been in a long time. But I do agree that it is kind of boring.
Cool. What about you, Chris?
What was the original question? Could you just repeat it for me?
Just killing High Templar openings, making the matchup stale, Colossus opening only.
Yeah, I think it's very boring. I don't know if you know Trace.
Yes.
He's been off racing as Terran. He basically just started like a day or two ago, but he basically put me into like a 50-minute macro game. The first day he was off racing as Terran, and I destroy him PvP. And I was just like, we were both like, we talked about it. He's like, I just started off racing today, and I should have beat you that game. And I was like, yeah. I just feel like there's not a lot of like we've been over this subject many times.
Yes.
I feel like Zealot High Templar was a really cool period in PvT where there was a lot of small skirmishes. There was a lot of really intense micro battles that could happen around the map in multiple places. Because if you just had High Templars and they're all clumped up, Ghost would wreck them. But if you had little pockets and photon cannon set up and whatever, and Terran could still do doom drops and all this other stuff, it was like a very interesting part. And now it's back. It's literally you sit there, you get like 2 sentries, you try to play as greedy as possible, get Colossus out, and you're defending for like 15, 20, 30 minutes. Terran has full map control. They can expo, they can drop, whatever, and it's just like a very boring, stale matchup for me.
So, just to, you nerfed the mine, you buffed the Zealots, you buffed the Templars.
And Blink is removed. I think Blink was stupid. I think everybody can agree on that. Protosses have agreed upon it since before it was nerfed. It was stupid, but the fact that it was there, even though it was broken, it kept Terrans in check.
Okay.
Like, there was some aggression that Protoss could do where Terrans were like, fuck, I can't really do that. Maybe he's gone Blink. And although it was stupid, we still had that check. We don't have that check anymore. We can't go High Templars anymore. It's just, you're just sitting and defending and hoping you get to late game on even to advantageous terms.
Yeah, but the way things are going with the new season map, I guess we'll just have to wait and see what the new maps for next year brings.
Either way, all matchups on those maps are going to be clusterfucks anyways, but yeah. And then, like, Legacy of the Void will come out soon. I mean, it's not such a huge deal. I just prefer where the game was going when we had the High Templar Zealot build in popularity.
Okay. Rotterdam, any final thoughts on that?
No, like Chris said, we went over this, I think, already the last 2 remixes and also on the other show I went. So I will keep it to a TLDR that I also enjoy the High Templar face a lot more. And that I'm sick of Overgrowth being played out to 3 Colossus trying to defend this third base of Protoss while the SV pool is coming in. Because I can dream those TVP builds by now on Overgrowth. So.
Okay. Well, thank you everyone who asked questions on Twitter and Reddit, and I'm a jerk because I didn't get to the questions on Twitter, but I looked at them and none of them were short or convenient for the time frame that we had. Also, a lot of people asking about Home Story Cup because the player lineup was released. We'll cover it next week. So I'm sorry, Venta, it's gonna kill us both.
I was just excited because it was Home Story Cup.
Yeah, of course.
Like it's something that normally I really look forward to, but now like obviously my focus is on the pre-BlizzCon show this Saturday, and then next weekend is the big BlizzCon, so it's kind of going to happen. But man, I'm so excited for this Home Story Cup. It's gonna be freaking awesome.
Desert doesn't want to cover it because he's not going to it.
You're not going to it too, man. We're going to Peru, and you're gonna get me sick because you've had that cough for 3 weeks. You fucking dumbass.
You've had a cough for 3 weeks?
Yeah, I told him
thought
that.
of you. I initially thought of you, Ben, and the thing
Yeah.
you said. Yeah, but I don't have insurance. It's fucking America. I'm not in Canada. You know, I'm
Like-
on this YOLO life. Like I
Like
gotta
when you cough,
pinch
do you,
those
like,
pennies, baby.
when you cough, like, can you not breathe kind of thing for a while?
What? Like, do I die?
I was
Not
coughing.
breathe. Like I
I-
cough. I'm not sick at all. I can do
Okay.
everything, but like just throughout the day, throughout the night, I'll just cough for
Oh,
no reason. I feel nothing in my throat or anything. I'll just
So
cough.
it's not like okay, like
I'm not dying
was,
though.
I was having like 5 or 6 coughing fits a day, where I'd cough for like 20 seconds, and then for 20 seconds after the cough finished,
Mhm.
it would feel like my throat was like locked up,
Okay.
like
don't
I couldn't
have that.
breathe. Okay,
Oh.
because I was gonna say
Well-
you have whooping cough, man.
Maybe Ebola. You never like
Oh yeah.
not
that
blood
shit
level
sucks.
yet, but thanks guys. Thanks.
All right, so thank you everyone.
Too soon, guys. Too soon.
Yes, so we didn't discuss Home Story Cup. We discussed Legacy of the Void every other show. Those were the 2 most asked stuff that we didn't cover. So next week we'll talk about it once more. So yeah, that wraps up the show. Chris, when are we gonna see you next? What are you up to next? And your
Playing in
shoutouts.
the show match with Todd right
Yes.
now. He's like fucking harassing me for vetoes as we speak.
Oh,
Playing QXC. After that, I'm going to MSI.
you lost to him in.
Yeah. Thanks.
the-
All right. And bye.
No, don't do this. Don't do
And
this.
shut up.
Okay.
And I lost to him yesterday. I am
Aren't they the cutest, man?
Yeah.
This is-
And
this is-
I
guys.
play MSI.
Yes.
I leave late tonight, 1 a.m. or something.
Oh.
Oh,
So I go
shit.
to that and I play Violet, then Flash, and then the week after that I'll be at BlizzCon. So if you
With
go to
me?
BlizzCon, say hi to me. No, not with desRow. Say hi. I won't be doing anything important, I don't think. Maybe if like one of the Heroes of the Storm players drop out, I'll replace them or something because I'm better than all of them anyways that are there. Get fucked, boys. And that's it. Thanks.
Oh, thank you. What about you, Ben? What are
I've heard
you?
stories about your punch. I heard that you're a great hooker.
Wait,
On
what?
Heroes.
What'd you say?
And Heroes.
Yeah,
heard
I
that
am.
you're a great
I am.
hooker.
I'm pretty good at the game. I'm not gonna lie. I am. My Stitch isn't insane.
Stitches. No, that's fine.
Okay. What about you, Ben? What are you up to next? What's coming up for you?
Going to be playing in Home Story Cup and probably casting a few games there as well, having a good time. After that, I'm going to be casting Fragbite Masters when it happens, which is like a really cool tournament in Europe. And Fragbite Masters are going to be actually having LAN finals for that, with quite a lot of players, bringing over a lot of
Yes.
players. So
Yes.
they're getting pretty serious with the StarCraft stuff. So it's really nice that StarCraft's very much so alive in Sweden and what have
yeah,
you.
It's really nice, yeah.
Besides that, yeah, it's looking. I guess I'll be streaming and
Yeah,
stuff. Like
yeah, you've been
the
streaming a
end-
decent amount, man. It's really nice to see your stream and see you active.
Oh, well, thank you, desRow. But like the end of the year is pretty sparse. Like there's not really much happening besides like after BlizzCon. I don't know what there is.
Yeah, Home Story Cup, and then a month after is I Am San Jose, and like
Okay,
there will-
okay.
there will
DreamHack
be-
winner.
Yeah.
Copa
Oh,
America.
Well, yeah, I mean like DreamHack Winter. Like DreamHack Winter, it's just
It's
like
so
Koreans going.
exclusive. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
really
just
exclusive.
it's just Koreans going, and then San Jose, it's just like it's mainly Americans and stuff, right? And Koreans
Yeah.
like fly over.
Rip, Ben, rip.
Ben is not welcome anyway.
The Americans, man, they didn't like
How's
it.
that going, Ben? Could you come if you want?
Yeah. If I
Really?
had like a return ticket to America, yeah, I can come.
Oh,
Easy.
okay.
Oh.
I don't have an ESTA. I have a visa, which is like, it's doable until. In fact, it's still good for like another like 7 years or something, 6 years.
Oh, wow. Was it expensive?
To get that visa, it was like, well, when I say truly expensive, it was like £600 that I had to pay for the whole thing.
Oh,
That's not much, actually.
yeah.
That's really
No,
cheap.
but it's
considering
it's,
the time.
it's not a working visa. It's a like visitor's visa.
Oh.
So like I can visit for like 6 months at a time.
Oh.
But then I have to leave for like 6 months of the year. So like
Oh.
when I stayed for 6 months, I got 2 extensions, which meant like technically I should leave for like a good 6 months and like 2 extensions time. So but yeah, going back to the US, it's fine as far as I know, but I don't know until I get there because last time I tried to go there, or like not last time, but way long ago, 2011, I tried to get there and they're like, "Yo dude, you overstayed by a day last time you were here." And I was like, "I'm sorry." They're like, "Yeah, fucking lock you up and throw away the key." I was like, "Holy shit, I'm in Mexican jail, son." But yeah, I think it's fine next time I go. And also, like, Chris, you have to tell Rotterdam after the show the pork chop story, 'cause it's amazing.
I gotta tell him. I gotta play in this fucking show match, or Todd's gonna kill me.
Oh man, the way you tell it's so good.
You can't wait. It sounds great.
What about you,
I'll
Rotterdam?
tell it in person when we
All
when we
right.
go to Berlin.
I'll keep it short. Yeah, that sounds great, Chris. I'll keep it short. Thanks for having me on the show once more, Desi. Sorry, I was like feeling a little under the weather. Hopefully, I'm better soon. Now, everyone, just go check out twitch.tv/ToddSC. So TODSC, where Todd and Funka are going to do some show matches. I'll be hopping in and out as well. Yeah, I'm just gonna have some fun. Watch Chris go up against QXC. Later, we'll have parting play as well. Gonna try to make it fun. Maybe Nintanius stops by. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how the internal
Struggle.
let's say
Is the war going on?
Yeah, exactly. I'm not
Oh.
sure how everything is going over here in the house, but it's so funny. These guys, you have no idea what I have to deal with, desRow.
Yeah, you don't have to watch TVs when you got these guys going
No,
on.
this would even be too cheesy for MTV. MTV would just say no. Like, Jersey Shore is this, but Todd Nathanius War, like, no, we will refuse to broadcast this shit.
Oh.
So yeah, I have to deal with that shit, but it's okay. So yeah, go check out, if you guys don't want to watch desRow play in this qualifier, go check out twitch.tv/ToddSC. We're gonna try to make it a fun evening or afternoon of SC2.
I had a question. Can you just show up this weekend for the round of 16 Burbank? Or you have to buy a
There's
ticket?
actually neither. There is no announcement about that yet, unless something has changed the last few days. But as far as I know, this is not official, so don't quote me on it. Don't say Rotterdam said. Let's go on Reddit right now, but. There has been no news post about this yet that you can buy tickets, and there is a reason for that. That is because most likely the round of 16 won't have an audience. There will be 4 games happening in 4 days, and it's all happening in the ESL America studio, which is, it's not small, but it's definitely not huge. So there will be a lot of players from different games. It's not a final call yet, but most likely it will not be open to the audience. But of course, I do want to encourage everyone to buy tickets for the arena for the big BlizzCon final, the round of 8 and on the 7 and 8, because that's going to be super awesome. So if you guys live in Southern California or you just want to go on a YOLO trip, come out to BlizzCon, hang out with us, have fun with us. It's going to be great.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, thank you. And so thanks to you guys for coming on the show. Make sure to check out the Todd stream. He's doing show matches with HuK and Rotterdam and all the other cool people. So yeah, really big thanks to you guys for watching the stream. We had our highest viewership, and really thanks to the guests for coming on. Yes, okay, I'll be playing in the IEM qualifier, so I can't host the Todd stream, but I've posted the link numerous times, so go check him out. And we'll see you guys next week. I hate you, Chris. Have a good night.
Yes. See you, man.